So we have all the family with us today. I'm not sure whether Marley is going to be well behaved or not. Time will tell, I'm afraid. Are you leaving us? Are you settling down? Good boy. Good boy, Marley. And our director is in his rightful position, but he's fast asleep, I think. Oh no, there's a movement. Oh, you're performing, are you, for the camera? Are you? You're probably doing a much better job than I'm going to do. You are, aren't you? Hi there, it's Anne of Rosie Duck Designs here. Thanks ever so much for joining me. I have to say it's a beautiful sunny day out there, so we're hoping that the sun isn't going to stop the camera actually showing what I'm doing. It sort of changed from thick fog earlier, so that was a bit of a surprise. So I'm back just to carry on from my last video, which was about simple stamping. Now, if you've not seen that one, it was back in November on stage, where Stampin' Up encouraged us to think about simple stamping. I think that the problem is we just get so involved with punches and dies and things like that that somehow the simple cards get forgotten. So it's really good to revisit this. Now, on the previous video there was basically the same card that I did, and we started off with a very simple stamp card, and then we looked at ways that we could just enhance the card without it costing a fortune in supplies. Now, I just want to share another little idea that we could do to just give the card a little bit of enhancement, and that is by using a splattering technique. So I'm going to first of all do the splattering. So I've cut some gorgeous grape card at 3 1/4 by 4 3/4, and I've got two pieces of that because I want one on the front and one on the inside. And I've got one of these food preparation boards, which was probably about £1.99 in one of the discount type shops that we've all got on our high streets. I'm using the Champagne Mist all-purpose ink that was launched in the autumn winter catalogue, and that together with the white one has carried through and it's still available to order, and that is £8. No, that's the card, sorry. Yes, £7.50. 5 minutes into the video and I'm already confused. So what you need for this is some ink, and it's got to be runny ink, not your ink pad, and an Aqua Painter. I've got one with a fairly thin brush at the end, and I've got my barrel with some water in it. So I'm going to get a piece of kitchen roll. That's always a good thing to have. So I'm just pushing the barrel so I'm getting some water out, make sure that my brush is nice and damp. And it's slightly messy, which is why I've put this down on top of my grid paper. Not mega messy, but I would recommend that you don't do it on your very best table with your very best tablecloth on, or on your very posh work surface. So I'm just clearing the cat's hairs off. So I'm just tipping my little pot of ink up so that I'm getting the ink just coming to the rim of it, and I'm literally going to, using the brush, I'm just going to splatter the ink over the surface of the card. Now I'm getting a variation of dots of ink. Some are a bit larger than others and some are very small, and that is part of the design really that will come out. There's nothing at all technical about this. It's just a good excuse to make a mess, really. Put a bit more over here. Now obviously you're not going to see most of this, but there's no point in just trying to do the edges like we did on the previous card with the Wink of Stella. Might just as well do the whole lot, and then you'll just see what you're not covering up basically. I've got a nice splodgy bit of dried ink there, so let me just take that off. I think that's the rubbish men coming and upsetting next door's dogs. So I've obviously got some damp ink here. Now I could just let that dry, and that will take a fair time to dry, because as you can see there are some quite heavy splodges of ink. Now that will dry, so you've got the option to do that. I'm not going to do that though. I'm just going to blot it with a piece of kitchen towel. And I'm just going to put that away up there. And hopefully nobody's going to stand on that ollie. I don't think you look like you're going to move actually, do you? So, a much needed cup of coffee. So I'm using the same note cards that we used in the previous video. So again, if you've not seen that one, go back and have a look at that. And I've got my outside piece of card and my inside piece of card, and that is 3 inches by 4.5. So again, I'm using the beautiful Bouquet stamp set, which is £25. Now again, I said in the previous video that this is a brilliant one to start with, because you've got a lot of floral stamps, images, and you've got a lot of sentiments there. These are sentiments that I used a lot myself, hence I really enjoy using this stamp set. We all have different needs for cards, so my suggestion is that you, if you're starting out, just have a look through the catalogues and have a look at something that gives you a good mix of both. Or if you're up to buying 2 stamp sets, then go for one that completely has sentiments on it, and there's a number in the catalogue, and then another one that just has images. So there's lots of choice. So probably best I don't put that up there. I'm using this one, and I'm using that on a D block. So stamping that up with my Granny Green Apple, which if you follow me on a regular basis you know that that's got to be one of my favourite colours of the current catalogues. I'm going to stamp this down the bottom just so the edges of the stems are coming off the page. And then I'm using Highland Heather, which is a really good contrast with the gorgeous Grape, and I'm using this stamp. I'm fitting that onto the various stems that the base stamp has left. So there's more stems than there is room for flowers. If you put more than 5 on, it starts to look a bit crowded, if I'm honest. So I might as well do the envelope while we've got that stamp out. So as I mentioned, the little note cards come with their own envelopes, and so you don't have to buy anything else. It's just a pack of note cards and envelopes. So I'm going to stamp that off. So I've done that twice, and then I'm going on with the full colour just on the top there, just to pretty the envelope up and make it just a little bit more special. Clean that one off. Now I've got a range of blocks here. One, it's easier for me to just grab hold of them and stamp rather than keep changing them about. In all honesty, you could make do with just a D block on this stamp set as a starter. I have to say that when you've got little stamps like this, the smaller blocks are that bit more manageable. So personally, I would go with a D and a B if you're buying this stamp set. You don't, in the catalogue it will tell you all the stamp blocks that is recommended, and that's, of course, that's brilliant, and over the time you can get yourself all of them. But let's be honest, it's not a cheap hobby, so it's nice to sort of buy bits and pieces as you go along. And if you can make do with a larger stamp on a larger block on a larger stamp block with a smaller stamp, then you know, why not? So I want the little bow. Clearly I need a bit more coffee. Is it nice in your world up there, Ollie? And this time I'm actually going to use 3 different colours. So in the previous cards I've only used 2 colours. This time I'm going with Gorgeous Grape as well. So again, we're just stepping it up a little bit and seeing how, as you build your supplies, how you can add to your creations. So the little bow, I'm just going to put that, comes the bottle, people. I'm going to put that at the base of the stem there. Now I'll start doing this again to just add a bit more detail. I've got some Winker Stella here, which is £7.50, I believe. I'll check that out. And I'm literally just going to go over the petals of the flowers, and that just gives them, it's not in your face colouring, but it, as you catch the light with it, you just get that lovely shimmer. And again, this has to be one of my favourite products. And the fact that the leaves will have this shimmer will tie in with the silver splattering that we're going to have on our base card. I don't think the light will pick that up, if I'm honest. So what I'm going to do is just going to pause the video for a moment while I fill in the rest of the petals, and then I will be back to you. So I'm back, having put Winker Stella over all of the petals of the flowers, and I'm just going to finish them off by adding a little central embellishment to each of them, and these are the glitter enamel dots, which are again £6.50, and they come in 4 different sizes and 4 different colours. Really love these colours, but very vibrant. So we've got Gorgeous Grape, Lovely Lipstick, Granny Green Apple and Coastal Cabana, and they really do sort of add an extra dimension to your projects. Just grab the last one off. It's my last one of those. You can see that they're popular. And I'm just going to use the next one, next size up, which I would have done anyway. It's not just because I've run out, just to put on the middle of the bow. So that just gives it that little bit of finish on the card. And again, nothing too technical or difficult about that. So, what's my other card? There it is. So there I went for a big sentiment and nothing inside, just a bit of stamping. This one I'm going to try one of the very small stamps that comes in this stamp set, and this little hello. I'm not sure how it's going to look on the card. We'll just go with it. Just going to put it at the top there. So very delicate little stamp. And then in the inside I'm going to go with this sentiment of I couldn't have picked a better friend than you. And again, I'm stamping that in Gorgeous Grape. And that's again on a piece of Whisper White, which is 3 by 4 3/4. And I'm just going to go in the middle of my piece of Whisper White. So that's all my stamping done. So there's lots of different sentiments in this particular stamp set, which is why I find it very useful. And I have a particular reason for doing this card, because I've got some things to send off to my friend who's about 120 miles away from me. So my apologies, Sarah, if you see this video before I actually get my act together and send the things I'm supposed to be sending you, but you know I'm thinking of you. So I've got my little note card, which, as we said before, come already scored, so you just have to fold them together. And I've now got my 2 pieces of dry splattered Gorgeous Grape cardstock. I don't know if that's actually picking it up. I'm getting a nod, that's good. So both the same size, so it doesn't matter which we go for. So I'm going to attach that first piece to the front of my card using my snail. All sorts of noise going on today with the washing machines on, and we've had the bin men, next door's dogs. We even had Ollie snoring while the camera was off and I was doing my wink of stellaring, but he's gone quiet again. So the other bit I'm putting inside, and again, when your card picks, or the light picks up on the card, you just get this lovely little element of a shimmer, which just gives it a bit of just makes it a little bit different. So then my inside piece of Whisper White, just going to put, obviously centralising it, so you're not going to see too much of it. It's just going to pick bits of it up around the edge. So it's all quite subtle, but it's just another technique that is worth knowing how to do. And again, you could make a card where your piece of middle cardstock is smaller, so you're seeing more of the splattered, or spattered rather, cardstock. So again, we're not going to see too much here, but it will marry in with the Wink of Stella that's on the petals. So I've done the same thing as I did the other day and stuck these on before sticking it. It's not a problem, but you just get this ridge as you're running your snail over. So again, I'm centralising that. She says as she drops it. Oh, that's actually the finished card. Just this little border of silver around it. Now you could, if you wanted to, attach that using some stamping dimensionals, so you've raised that up again, so that would be another dimension to the card. There's our envelope. Attempt to keep that clean because I want to be able to use that. So what do I want to say? Variations of note cards. We've obviously got the ones we've been using, but there's a whole load of options for ready-made cards. So we've got the Whisper White Memories and More cards and envelopes, and you can buy those in small or large. £6 for the small, £7 for the large, and you get 10 cards and matching envelopes. So that's the big one, and that's the small one. Now I can show you the size of that. So this is the big card and the envelope, and that is the small card with the envelope. Now the ones I've just shown you are Whisper White plain. These ones come from the Happiness Blooms, which is in the new spring summer catalogue, and you get actually 20 cards in that set, and that is £8, and you've got the 10 large, 10 small, and the envelopes have this really pretty little design on them as well. So there's that as an option. There's also, I would say these are designed to work with the Memories and More packs, but there's absolutely no reason why they can't just be used as basic cards. So it means that you haven't got to go out and buy different Whisper White cardstock when you're starting out. You've got a base card to go with, and you don't need a trimmer because it's already pre-scored. So it's a really good way to start. It's also handy to just have them to hand when you need a card in a hurry. I need to mark these. Delightfully detailed delightfully detailed note cards, which you get 20 cards, 5 each of 4 designs, and you've got the colours of Blackberry Bliss and Mint Macaron, and the base card is actually very vanilla, so that can make a nice change to have something that's very vanilla. I tend to always veer towards Whisper White, if I'm honest, so it's quite nice when I do use very vanilla, because it's a bit of a change. And it's like these, it'd be good if I get them out of the packet. It'd be awesome, wouldn't it, Ollie? Right, there you go. It's like a wash that's been put over them, so they make a really nice base card. You would, I think, in all honesty, need an additional card to just give a little bit of texture to that. But you've got a nice Whisper White inside. Got your coordinating envelopes. Might as well just throw them around. So nice designs that you haven't had to do yourself, and you can just build up from that. Finally, there are some that are carried over from the autumn winter catalogue, and they are the silver foil edge cards. Now there was a silver version and a gold version. I'm more of a silver person, if I'm honest, so I've got the silver ones, but you can see on the online shop you can you'll find the gold version as well. I've already used that one. Nice bit of mint macaron stamping on that one. There you go. So plain front, nice edged envelope, and your matching card. Now that gives you a really nice base to work with. Obviously ideal for silver anniversaries, but great for just a normal anniversary. All sorts of different ways that you could use that card. And as I say, they are still available. So if you're wanting a bit of glitter, shimmer, wedding cards as well, that would be quite good for a wedding card. And we are coming into that time of year where weddings are sort of very popular, aren't they? So all sorts of options. Let me sort that out later. It's so much easier. So that's all I wanted to say about note cards and some ideas for simple stamping. Just try and clear the debris somewhat. I just want to revisit Sale-A-Bration because I have now got the 3 new Sale-A-Bration items that were released on the 15th of February, and they are 2 level 1 rewards and 1 level 2 reward. So the first level 1 reward is this one. It's a photopolymer stamp set called All Adorned, and there's 8 different stamps in it, and it's designed to work particularly well with the Stamparatus, so that is something I'm going to be exploring. The next level 1 reward is this 3D dynamic embossing folder, which obviously you would need a big shot if you're going to be able to use this. I've just run through a couple of random pieces of scrap paper. So that's lovely lipstick. I'm hoping this is Highland Heather. I'm hoping it's picking it up because this is just absolutely gorgeous. I cannot wait to make a proper card with this. The depth of this embossing is just amazing. So that's a really fabulous gift, reward rather, if you've got a big shop. And finally, there's a level 2 reward. So level 1s, you need an order of £45, excluding postage and packing, to qualify for one of those. Level 2, you need a £90 order, excluding postage and packing, to qualify for one of those. And there are now 3 options with this new one. And this new one is this Painted Seasons stamp set, and it's one of the new cling stamp sets, as you can see, that clings nicely to our blocks. And it's also one of the distinctive stamp sets, which is an exclusive product to Stampin' Up. So, quite technical pitch with that, I will attempt to put the 2 videos together. So as I was saying, these are the distinctive stamps which really produce those beautiful detailed images. So that is the stamp set. So sticky and clingy that it sticks to my fingers. So that's the stamp set, and with that comes a set of designer series paper. Now there are, let me get this right, read it out of here. There are 12 sheets of paper, and there are 3 each of 4 double-sided designs. So let me share the paper with you. This has got like a washed effect on the back here. Particularly love this one, I have to say. So again, on the back, which is just more the pattern side of it rather than the florals, it's got this washed effect, so you've got that nice differences in the paper. So basically the paper is representing the 4 seasons of the year, as is the stamp set. I think the sun is now getting up as well, isn't it? Hopefully you're getting the depth of those colours. And the actual colours that are involved are Call Me Clover, Crumb Cake, Early Espresso, Grapefruit Grove, Lemon Lime Twist, Mango Melody, Petal Pink, Pool Party, Poppy Parade, Pumpkin Pie, and of course Whisper White. So there's so much choice there in that paper to coordinate with inks and embellishments, etc. So I'm going to be working with these 3 new products over the weekend and seeing what I can come up with. So my next video, I can't tell you exactly what it's going to be because I haven't sort of made it yet, but join me again for that to see what I've come up with the new products with Sale-A-Bration. Finally, I just want to revisit Sale-A-Bration and just say that we've got until the 31st of March before it ends. The products are on a while stocks last basis, so if there is anything you really have wanted to get and haven't got round to doing that yet, then do give serious consideration about putting an order in. As usual, all the links for the shop will be on the front of the video. The level 2 rewards, as I said, you have to put through a qualifying order of £90. Now, there's 2 ways of looking at that. If you're putting through an order of £90, you are going to get a really nice reward. However, if you're spending £90, why not give serious consideration to spending £99 and signing up to becoming a demonstrator? Now, the reason I'm saying that is that normally your starter kit costs £99 and you get £130 worth of products, and your starter kit gets sent to you without any charge for postage and packing. So that's a good deal in any day of the week. However, during Sale-A-Bration there are 2 options. The first option is you grab the right one. You spend you pay £99 for your starter kit, but instead of £130 worth of products, you get £170 worth of products, which is absolutely amazing. So, for example, have you wanted a big shot but haven't got round to getting it? You could certainly get that with your starter kit, and you'd also have enough money left over to buy yourself at least 1 set of dies to get started with. Option 2 is £125 to pay for your starter kit. Again, you get £170 worth of products of your choice from either catalogue, but you also get this really lovely craft tote bag, which, while you just focus on that, I will go and get the real thing. So I had this ready to show you, but then somebody thought they might like to jump into it, so I thought I'd better put it away for safety. You've got these lovely Velcro strip I can't think what the word is, but they're these, yeah, it separates. Yeah, you've got a speaking part again, haven't you? Yeah, it separates the bag into all these different compartments if you want it, or you can remove this one and just have this bit, etc., etc. I think personally I'm going to be using this a lot for an overnight bag, or when I'm going away and I just want to pack a book and little bits and pieces. It'd be great for that, so I'll just take all that out. It's got this nice little pocket here which is zipped, so that's great for keys, phones, and another one on the back there. It's just a really lovely bag, and it is worth £45, and you are effectively paying 26. No, it's worth £47, and you're actually only paying £26 for that. We paid £47. We could order it prior to Sale-A-Bration, but we had to pay £47 for it. So well worth a thought. There's two ways of going. You do get a lovely gift if you want to go down that route, but I would just, particularly at this time, with that additional amount of £40 that you can spend in the catalogue, I would really give serious consideration to joining up. There's really no strings attached to it. There's a contact me button, so if you're interested, then do just get in touch and I'm happy to talk you through it. There's also a join my team link at the front as well. So as I say, I'm happy to answer any questions you've got, and I will just talk about that a little bit more in the next video. So I'm going to try and stick these 3 videos now together, so who knows what could happen. Thanks ever so much for joining me. It's Friday, so have a great weekend, and I will see you again very soon. So from all my furry friends, take care. I think we've lost Marley somewhere, but so thanks once again for joining me, and I